No.
Ah.
Sorry, everybody. You're in my room tonight since
Hello.
my laptop died on me, so I have to go on my
Look who's
desktop.
that.
It's special guest,
Hey.
Dan's dad.
It's my dad. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
He's got his very important post-it note that says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I'll have you know.
Mhm.
You gotta come to bed.
Okay.
Okay. You say bye-bye, internet.
Bye-bye.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Can you say bye-bye?
It's like,
No.
No.
So
Hello, everyone. How are you? And Dad's like, peace out. I was like, hey, you want to be on the live tonight? He's like, no. How's everyone doing? It's Thursday, and I have wine, and it was a busy day. My lord. Whew. Josh and I were earning our money today. Yeah. If you didn't know, it was really, really cold here in Texas, and
You're gonna offend some people saying it was really, really, really cold. I'm sure.
for Texas.
The Canadians are gonna be like, oh, it's like that in the middle of summer in Canada.
Anyone in Minnesota is like, you guys are sissies, man. But it was it got down to 12 degrees, which is legit cold for Texas.
It was cold enough to where they canceled school for my kids.
Yeah.
12 degrees,
Someone
and they canceled
it.
They canceled it.
Holy cow! I didn't realize they canceled it. They did a 2-hour delay yesterday for Liberty Hill or something like that. But anyway, so it was cold enough that the stub did not do very well.
It's not made for cold weather.
So we had some issues, and yeah, I had to spend most of the day doing plumbing. Hooray! But yes. Anyway, BB sent $20 before the live started, asking about an update for the lifts that we have. So I wanted to talk about that real quick. So we bought Olympic lifts. That's the brand. And we bought, I think it's the Gold Series. So it's not like their baseline ones. And part of it was they had some extra features that I really wanted. Like they had the screw up like posts on the 2 posts where you can adjust it with a screw, which is really important for cars like Ferraris because the lift points, if you don't get them just right, sometimes you could smash the side panels and stuff. So that was important. And also they had like a very low profile arm. Like I think the arm sits at only 3 1/4 or 3 1/2 inches, which for a 2 post is very good.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my requirements. I wanted it to be super low profile, and I wanted to have adjustable height pads. So, yeah. We burst quite a few pipes, actually.
The best was our water filter.
Oh, yeah.
Just
The
grenaded.
Yeah,
grenaded.
The water filter literally exploded. That was... oops. The storage tanks are fine. I mean, those are like 500-600 gallons. Or
it would have to get pretty cold for a long period of time to freeze those through.
Those have got to be. It might even be closer to like 1,000 gallons. They're very large.
Yeah.
So yeah, those did fine, but the PVC pipes did not do so well. I actually filmed what I was working on today because some of you might find it vaguely interesting, but yeah. That was not. I went over to the shop. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, or the day before, and saw it that everything exploded. And I was like, it's one of those where you look at it and you're just like, well, nothing I can do about it right now. Going home.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it was all still frozen. Like the filters were still ice.
It got down to 12 degrees,
mm-hmm.
and it was It was 12 degrees for like 2 days.
Yeah, it was
It
below
stayed really
freezing.
cold for quite a while.
It was below freezing for 48 hours
Hmm.
or more. So, um, I had some pipes freeze up where they didn't burst though. So actually, the same thing happened. I had the toilet in my son's bathroom froze. It would not flush or recharge after a flush, and then the sink or the shower in the guest room froze. So my dad got here, and the next morning he couldn't take a shower in that bathroom, so he had to use a different bathroom. I was like, ah, crap! Like, welcome.
The toilet at the shop was frozen too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Like, it wouldn't. No
wouldn't
kidding.
flush.
Was that because of
That's
the
before
other?
that's before the pipes burst. The first day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should turn up the heaters a little bit then.
I mean, the bathroom felt fine inside. It's just the plumbing somehow was.
But the plumbing runs along that back wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That makes me worried because those are pipes that run in the inside of the building. If those burst, that would be.
Yeah.
Although they're PEX, so PEX is a little bit more forgiving than PVC.
Yeah.
I feel like they can
I mean,
kind
it
of.
stayed when it was, I don't know, maybe 20 degrees outside. I turned the heaters to 70 inside, and I was working on a car in a t-shirt. It was kind of nice.
Yeah. Oh, the heaters work amazing.
Yeah.
That's the good news. Yeah, today we got up to 75 degrees today. It was crazy.
Yeah. It was hot today.
Yeah,
It was hot.
it
It's
was
just so stupid.
yeah.
The weather here is
And then
ridiculous.
tomorrow's back to cold, and then tomorrow night it's down to 22.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I know I just fixed all the pipes. So I actually I opened the dump valve and drained out all the pipes so that they wouldn't have any water in them. Because I was like, I just fixed all the pipes and now they're gonna explode again.
Hmm.
Crap. Yeah. So I miscalculated. I bought a little space heater, thinking that would be enough to keep the pipes from freezing, and clearly that was not the right solution.
It didn't work.
Nope. Oops. Anyway, yeah, how's everyone doing? I wanted to talk about complicated deals as a dealership. So Josh will love this conversation. In fact, Josh probably has way more to add to the conversation than I do. But people always so there actually I was talking with my dad about some of the bad consignment deals that we dealt with and stuff, or that we saw with CNC Motors and all that crap. And it was funny because, like, just like most people, he was like, wait, how is that possible, and how is that legal, and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, this happens all the time. So I want to talk about how, like, we even have complicated deals that we have to deal with, and sometimes it makes it so it's not always straightforward. So those of you that have been watching the social media stuff we posted, we just sold that Lamborghini Superleggera, and it's probably one of the most complicated deals we've had. Maybe.
It's just, yeah, I mean, it's complicated because, well, should I explain it to him?
Yeah, I thought it would be kind of, because people don't get how much stuff goes on in the background to make it.
Okay, so guy comes to us and says, hey, I've got my Lamborghini, I want you to sell it for me. And we're like, sure, no problem. I still owe money on it through a bank. No problem. We do our thing, whatever, list it for sale. Well, when it comes time to sell it, the buyer wants to finance it. Well,
and trade in the car.
And trade something in that is also financed.
Yes.
So there's this, the short version is we have to come up with the money to pay off the Lamborghini. so that we can get the title in order to record the new bank as a lien holder before we get paid. So as a dealership, we don't get paid from a bank until they are recorded as a lien holder, which means we have to do the title work, pay the taxes, and have that title in hand in order to do that. So we had to come up with the money to buy the Lamborghini, and then pay it off, pay off his trade-in that he traded in so that we can get the title for that, and then do all the tax title paperwork so that we can get paid from the Lamborghini that we borrowed money to pay for. So it's
Basically, the super short version is we had to front a bunch of money that we're gonna have to pay interest on, and we won't get paid for that car for probably a month or maybe even a month and a half.
yeah, it really depends on how long their bank takes us to get the title once it's paid off.
So to give you guys an idea, like the Viper, the 07 Viper that we sold, or sorry, 97 Viper that we sold, we still have not been paid for that car by the bank. So the guy got a loan on that car. He gave us a deposit. We got the deposit, but the bank has not paid us for that loan yet. And that was
So, and part of that is that particular bank. I won't name them, but they have been problematic in the past paying dealerships. They just take their time. They're not going to wire you the money. They're going to send you a paper check, and they're only going to send it regular mail. So it takes forever. And come to find out, we have another customer that was like, "Oh, I tried to finance a car with a dealership, and they said, 'Oh no, we don't take that bank anymore. We're not even working with them because of their ridiculous process you have to go through.'" So it's that's why cash deals are nice.
yeah.
If you pay, especially if they're an out-of-state cash deal, because you send us money, we send you car and title, and we're done.
Yeah.
End of story. But yeah, yeah. And if it's if a car we bought from out of state has an out of state title, and they want to finance it in Texas, we have to do a bunch of additional paperwork to certify the VIN number and get a state inspection and do all of that before we can title it and get paid by that bank. So that's why there's a doc fee,
Yeah. Which isn't enough.
which is not enough. But
we only charge
you know,
what, like 75
I
or
do like
95
$125
125.
usually.
Yeah, it's nothing compared to
If
most
it's a
dealerships.
super easy deal, I don't even add it on. But if it's a complicated one, I always add it on.
I think some of these dealerships are charging like $700-800 for those.
Yeah, and a doc fee is negotiable with most dealers, and a lot of dealers just slap this ridiculous, like Dan said, like a $700 or $800 doc fee. In a lot of states, it's illegal. They have a legal limit that they can do on the doc fee. So if you're buying a car, look up whatever your state's legal limit is for the doc fee and make sure they're not charging you over that. Because if they are, they could get in big trouble for that. And dealers do it all the time.
Oh yeah. I've hacked the blockchain and I'll take all the cards that came with crypto, send the money to Fondue. That's for Numbia care of Mark. Nice. Very nice. I like this comment. Is this something like Capital 2 Bank?
They're terrible too, but they're not as bad as this one bank. It's a
Yeah.
local credit union.
Unfortunately. Yeah. A lot of people like them because they have really good rates. But
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I thought we'd bring that up because I don't think people understand. Like, actually, we should almost do a full-on video about the complexities of some of these deals because there's everything from super easy deals to very, very complex deals, and this Lamborghini was definitely on the far end of complex deals. I'm trying to think of, like, have we had anything that was maybe more complex than this?
The Speciale deal was kind of complex.
That was complex. Yeah. That was more of just waiting time, right?
Yeah.
That just took forever. A dealer in Denver that they had on their website, their dock fees are $1,000.
I'm looking that up because that seems ridiculous. I'm sure the law says that they can't charge that much.
You may assume at the Dino. Yeah, I gotta talk to Josh about this. Jeff sent me a text. We gotta discuss. There's a Dino situation.
A Dino situation?
Yeah.
What kind of Dino situation are we talking about?
Dino 246.
We should get that and then put it on Bring a Trailer for him.
He's trying to buy it.
Oh, he's trying to buy it. Okay.
Yeah. But it's not in this country.
Okay, I'm interested. Where is it?
Somewhere in the EU. So, yeah.
I'll go over there and look at it.
Yeah, I'll tell. RBFCU is great for the consumers and sucky for the dealers.
Well, it's too bad because I've used them for 15 years and they used to be great until they got too big. You know, they used to be very small. They had like 10 branches or whatever, and now they've got hundreds and they're all over the place. And you can't. I used to be able to call them and talk to someone and say, "Hey, can you do this for me?" Sure, no problem. Now it's like, you know, put on hold. You got to get verified.
How long were you on the phone on Saturday? On hold.
Way too long.
At least it was over an hour.
Yeah.
It was probably
It's
an hour and a
typical,
half.
though.
No max limit on dock fees in Florida. That doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
Florida is terrible. Oh, most dealers are charging $900 to $1,000 in Florida.
I mean, that's just insanity.
Why don't you just sell the car for $1,000 more? I don't get that.
The best is when they print out that contract on their piece of crap old dot matrix
the dot
printer,
matrix, yeah.
and the dock fee is like it's permanently on there. It can't be changed. It's like, oh, sorry, we can't do anything about it. I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can print it again, bastards. Thoughts on the Fry movie? So we finally saw it last weekend. I liked it. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought it was good.
There were a few parts I didn't like, but
The
for the
CGI
most part,
was
it
shit.
was okay.
The CG, like the accident scene, was like way over the top.
I wish, you know, considering how mellow the rest of the movie was, that was way over the top for me. That accident scene.
I mean, the reality.
I know you didn't. It doesn't bother you, but it bothers me.
It didn't bother me because like that was the reality of racing at the time, right?
Yeah, but that's true. I'm not going to argue with you there, but the rest of the movie didn't really fit that.
True.
How aggressive that scene was. The
Yeah,
rest
that
of the
was
movie
like
was
that was
pretty
like
chill.
slapping you away.
Yeah, it was like,
"Whoa."
is this even the same movie? Like, what's happening?
I felt like they left a lot on the table. Like they could have made it. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's more of like a docudrama than it is like an action film or something, right? I guess the thing that was interesting for me is I've read the for people who don't know, Josh has unseen sensitivity. Thanks, Meg. I read the book Enzo, which is this huge, thick Bible that goes through Enzo's life in detail. And I've gotten past that part of the book, and it's pretty accurate. And like at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It wasn't any. There was no new information for me, you know.
The other thing that annoyed me about the movie was that at the beginning it was fine. They have a lot of scenes where nobody says anything. There's a lot of silence, and they're just like back and forth looking at each other, and you're kind of putting the story together in your head, and you're like, all right, that's cool. But they did that way too much throughout the whole movie. Way too much.
It was a bit overdone. I definitely agree. Ford versus Fry was way better.
Oh yeah, way better. Way better movie.
Way better movie. Like the plot was way like the the way they did it was better, although they embellished a bit. They embellished quite a bit, like, you know.
Tell Meg to be quiet.
Meg, damn. Oh, nice. Please, so everyone, please give Josh positive affirmations. Go out of your way to give him positive affirmations. Josh, you are worthy. You are accepted. People like you.
If someone tells that to you, then some people don't like you.
Oh man, you're in for it now. So, Josh, speaking of, is going on a little adventure tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm flying somewhere to pick up a car, and I'm going to drive it back to Texas.
Anyone want to guess? What do you think? We
Nope.
should give someone something if they guess it.
Nobody's going to guess it, but let's do that.
No one will definitely guess it. But if someone guesses it, you get one guess. And if you guess it, we'll give you a T-shirt.
Okay. Or a hat, either your pick.
Yeah, a T-shirt or hat. You know. But no one's gonna get it.
Mm-mm. Not a Corvette.
Yeah. Nebraska. Oh hell no.
It's not Nebraska, and it's not a Corvette. It's about 8 hours, apparently.
Please comment on videos that Josh is funny, smart, clever, hardworking, and cool as only his mom thinks he. Man, Meg's in a particular mood tonight, aren't you?
I guess so.
It's not a 430. It's not a super performance. You already guessed. You only get one guess. Cuba. I don't think we're picking up a car in Cuba. It's in the United States.
Maybe he meant to say CUDA.
Marfa.
It's not in Texas. It's not a Lotus.
Yeah. Ugh. Gone. Jeez. South Carolina. I thought we were saying guess what type of car it is, not where it is.
Yeah. It's in Arkansas.
Yeah, it's in. There you go, Little Rock. It's in Little
It is
Rock.
in Little Rock.
There you go. But yeah, we're trying to say guess what type of car it is, not where it is, because a Mercedes. That's very vague. You'd have to
No.
get a specific model. It's Wine and Weed Thursday in Canada. That sounds awesome.
What watch am I wearing? I'm wearing a Tudor Black Bay Chrono. Panda.
How many watches do you have?
Probably about 20, 25.
What?
They're not all crazy expensive watches, though. Some of them are cheap, you know.
How much is the total value of all your watches?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 40 grand?
Okay.
50?
It's not. I was thinking like 150 grand or something.
Oh,
Crazy.
no. It's not that much.
Okay. A little better.
I have a lot of very sentimental watches that I've gotten through the years from family members or for different occasions and things, and those really aren't worth much.
Yeah. Tesla, Aston Martin SLR, Mercedes E63.
Nobody's even said the right brand. Nobody's gonna get. Nobody's
No
gonna
one's
guess.
gonna get this one.
As soon as I say the brand, though, they're gonna know right what it is.
Yeah. We can't
There's
tell.
only
what it is.
one. Yeah. Okay.
You gotta wait for the video because too bad.
Okay.
458. No. A BB. No. Viper. No.
I wouldn't want to drive a Viper for 8 hours.
Yeah,
It'd
it
be
might
kind
be
of
rough.
rough.
Supra, VW. No, we want to get a Supra. That would be fun.
I'll do a Mark IV Supra. If we could get our hands on a turbo left-hand drive, I don't want the right-hand drive crap that everybody thinks is cool now. Manual transmission. Supra,
That'd be-
with a,
that'd be
it's
pretty
got to
cool.
have the wing.
Yeah. Diablo, Yugo. That would be fun to get a Yugo. I want to get one. My neighbor back when I was a kid had a Yugo across the street.
That's a car I definitely wouldn't want to drive for 8 hours in.
I don't even know if it could drive 8 hours.
I wish it was an R8. An R8 would be cool.
Yeah, an R8 would be great.
A Jag XJ220, yeah. We'll just...
Yeah, let me.
No,
let me
it's not
pull up
that. It's not that cool.
a Plymouth
Plymouth Prowler.
GTR. No, we've
not a
been looking
GTR.
for one though. AMC Pacer. That would be cool. I like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's
Fun
true.
probably isn't the word for Yugo. There's not much to a Yugo. I feel like there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
An Aztec.
No, it's not an Aztec. Although one of these days, if one pops up and the price is right, I'm gonna buy an Aztec just for fun.
Oh no. No.
It has to come with the tent though.
The tent.
Yeah.
The Pinto, a Scud. I wish it was a Scud.
It's not a Ferrari.
It's not.
It's not Italian. It's not Italian.
No. Douchebaggery is. Yeah, there's some douchebaggery about this car.
A little bit.
Country. Well, okay. So no one's getting the T-shirt because no one got it.
It comes. Should we tell them the country?
Sure.
It's Japan. It's Japanese.
It's a Japanese vehicle. Yeah. Trans Am. Those are cool. Aston, no. No. German, no. Hemi, no. No one's. Again, you're not getting a T-shirt because we already gave you like Subaru. No, but I do love Subarus. Subarus are awesome. Ugh, RX-7. I don't feel like.
STI. RX-7 would be cool, but that's not it. I wish that was it.
No. Da-da-da!
Hey, somebody got it.
Dee-dee-dee! There it is. Mm-hmm.
One of my all-time favorite cars, S2000. That's why I was like, I'll go get that car and drive it back.
Yep. Yeah, we found one at a pretty reasonable price. It's unmolested, good condition, no accidents, reasonable miles, reasonable price. Oh wait, does it have an accident?
It had damage on Carfax, but not an accident.
Yeah, damage but not a car. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So,
If you haven't driven an S2000 and you ever have the chance to, you should.
I have
And
not.
I'm curious what Dan's opinion is. I've
I'm-
kind of hyped them up a little bit, but they're not fast or anything like
I'm
that.
keeping my expectations low because I feel like the NSX everyone hyped up and I hated it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep
The
my
NSX is the way it looks, and then you get in it and drive it, and it's a little bit of a letdown.
yeah. And I think part of the problem is the price of the NSX is so high. But then again, the S2000s are coming up way up in the price.
Yeah. BB, it's a AP1, so it's a 2-liter, which is, in my opinion, the better engine. It also revs higher. It revs to 9,000 instead of 8,000.
Yeah. 9,000. It's got that VTEC, bro.
It truly has VTEC that you can actually feel.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as it kicks in, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Was it like 4,600 RPMs or something
Yeah,
like
somewhere around 5,000 or something, yeah.
that? Yeah. I remember I drove a VTEC. What was it? Like an Acura Integra or whatever that had
Mhm.
VTEC. And it was like, this is gutless. And also then VTEC kicks and you're like, oh, that's nice.
It's like a mini turbo.
Yeah. Totally changes the profile of that thing. It's crazy. Yeah. 9,000 RPMs, GT3 stuff. Me likey.
Yeah. They're good
Yeah.
cars. I've
Actually,
I've had like 7 S2000s. And actually, I haven't seen Greg on here, but I was talking to him the other day, and he's getting an S2000 CR. He's working on getting one, which is like the special edition.
I didn't
one
know
they only made
such
for a
thing
year.
existed.
Yeah, they go for big money.
I bet. I don't know if I could pay big money for a Honda. That
Well,
is
big money
different.
is big money. I think is like he said is like 50 grand or something.
That's a lot of
For
money
a
for Honda.
for a low mile one, like a real ultra low mile one,
But
is
it's like
six-figure
a
car.
low mile 20-year-old slow Honda. Because let's be real, compared to anything else we're driving today, these are slow.
Yeah. The nice thing is about it though is every stoplight, you can put your foot all the way to the floor
Oh,
and
it's
row
true.
through the gears, and
That's
you're
true.
still good. You're still good.
It's kind of like the 355, right? You just everywhere you
Yeah.
go, you floor it.
The Honda doesn't sound as good as a 355, but
That's definitely true. Are you going to get another GT3? Yeah, I think
I would love to.
we did pretty okay on the GT3 RS. It wasn't like a home run, but it was good enough. I think here's the weird thing, and we've kind of talked about this: is the margins on Porsches aren't very good. So as a dealership, we don't make a whole lot of money on them, but it's sold pretty easily, and that's the problem. Is it's only one data point, right? Like that's the first high-end Porsche that we've done. We've done some other Porsches, but none of them were any of the GT cars. So we definitely want to experiment with another GT3 to see if they sell easily, because even if it's like not big margins, if they sell easily, then that's appealing to us. So, I'm just trying to lay it out for real there. But yeah, so far we seem pretty pleased with the GT3 RS experience. But we also kind of got lucky on that one, or I guess kind of, because the buyer was a fan of the channel and already had done business with us in the past, and it was literally the easiest deal we've ever had.
Yeah.
It was the dream scenario as a dealership where the guy literally just says, "Hey, I want to buy the Porsche. Send me the wire information."
Yeah, it was great.
And then like 2 hours later, there's a wire arrived with the money, and you're like, "Oh, that was easy." What will we list Donovan's F430 for?
I think we're gonna convert that car
that one
first.
Yep. So
And it needs a few things here and there that we're gonna do. So we'll fix it up and make it nice and convert it. I don't know what we'll get for it.
we need to really take a look at it first.
Yeah.
We know Dan is shilling for the dealership if he talks up the S2K. They're neat, but meh. Hey, I haven't talked it up at all. I haven't driven it yet. So,
I mean, for the money, in my opinion, I don't think you can beat that car for 15 or 20 grand.
The Gabe and Tyler are both occupied. So, margin, damn it. Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like the Porsches just don't have a big margin. So like, the margin on the GT3 RS compared to most Ferraris we sell was about half, which is kind of a hard pill to swallow when you're buying a $200,000+ car and you don't make that much money on it. Like we make more money on it buying a F430, to give you an example. So it's kind of hard to be like, should we, so it's in that case, it's like, will we trade off, money for ease of sale?
Yeah, I mean, we're laying down 200 grand to make, of maybe a little bit. And if one thing goes wrong with that car, then we're in the red.
Yes, Josh is going to fly up to Little Rock and pick it up tomorrow.
It's not a CR.
Someone's asking about the old Porsche. We haven't done that video yet.
Should we talk about it or wait?
I don't know. I'm torn on that one. I kind of feel like people need to wait on that one.
All right, well, we can wait then.
Because that's got a story behind it.
It does.
And it has a great story.
Yeah.
It's a better than normal story, so I feel like that needs to be a full-on video. So, sorry. Too bad.
We'll make a video out of that.
Yep. No, it's not an 06 plus.
Greg, you want the AP1 anyway. You don't want the AP2.
Oh, thank you. I have lost some weight. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jocko, you would have liked the GT3 RS.
Jocko would have had a blast with that car.
Yes. Yes, you would have. It is a race car on the street. Yeah, your old car is going to be a 6-speed shortly.
Unless someone makes us an offer for it. We have the kit on the way, so
Yeah. I like the virtual room you have set up. Is this virtual?
mine's
that's
not.
real.
I'm
That's
in my
real.
bedroom because I'm normally on my laptop, but my laptop died on me, so I'm computerless right now. I'm on my desktop.
We do have an F1 system that we've pulled off of a 430.
We have 2 of them actually now.
Yeah, they were functional. So if someone wants a squid, we can give you it for a reasonable price.
Toe curves. I don't know what that means. The engine on the first gen is better, and I like the way it looks better. The AP2 kind of went a little more mainstream with the looks, and the engine's not as fun, in my opinion. But you're going to get arguments about that all day long.
I'm actually thinking about buying an up to 4-year-old Porsche.
Why the 4-year arbitrary 4-year mark?
AP1 toes out under load.
Well, just replace the suspension.
Interesting.
Yeah, do you want like a GT car, Jocko, or something like a touring car, like a turbo or something? What are you trying to do?
Does Jocko ever want a touring car?
I don't know.
Actually, I guess you kind of do.
I mean, if he's wanting a Porsche, it's probably for taking it on the track.
I would say
He's probably going to want at least a GT3.
That's the only reason I can see Jocko buying a Porsche is just to beat the shit out of it and not care about it. In fact, that's kind of the funny thing is most of the Ferrari guys we know that end up buying a Porsche, they buy the Porsche just to flog the crap out of it because they don't care about the Porsche. And then they save like the Ferrari for like the good stuff.
Touring, so you need to get like a turbo then.
Yeah.
Turbo or Turbo S.
The GT3 Touring is the stupidest car ever.
Yeah. If you're going to buy a GT3, it needs to have a wing.
Yeah. Buy a GT3 to get a GT3. Don't buy a GT3 Touring. It's stupid.
I mean, the ultimate car to get would be the Club Sport. It's a 2-wheel drive turbo manual. They're like ridiculously expensive. I think they're like $500,000 now.
Ah. That's too bad. That would be pretty sweet, though.
Yeah.
Holding my wallet to see if Ferrari sells me an XX. Yes. Yes. I want to see Jocko in a 296XX.
Jocko says he doesn't want to spend too much money, but then he's going to buy an XX car.
Right? What does that start at? Like $1 million? Jocko is not our business partner. Jocko is just a friend of the channel.
We haven't talked him into giving us money yet.
No. We need to work on that.
Yeah.
Jocko, give us money. Too funny. The XX with enough options is $1 million. Yeah, I can see that. Oh wait, that's right. It's the SF90XX or whatever.
Man, it's just a car. I don't know. It's a lot of money for a hybrid.
The thing is that's weird is it's not truly an XX. Like you're not eligible for any of the XX program stuff if you buy that car. let's be real. The back seats of an E911 are not useful. Like, you gotta detach your kid's legs.
You can fit a kid in the back. I mean, I had car seats in the back of my 911 when my kids were little.
Yeah, but like every time you load them in and out, you're probably like hurting your back.
It wasn't fun, but you can do it.
Just buy a real vehicle for taking the kiddos. Like, that's the thing. Like, don't try and make one car do everything, you know? Your 4-year-old fits? I mean, is he really short? Backseat of a 911 is for amputees.
True.
True story. Yeah, it's only street legal XX. It's not true XX in my opinion. I think that was bad on Ferrari's part to do that. To call that an XX. They should have called it like a kind of like a Challenge Stradale or Scuderia or Speciale. They should have made it a special edition, but calling it an XX I think was dumb. I think that was a poor move. The FF and Lusso have real back seats that fit adults.
Yeah.
Like, I can fit comfortably in the back seat of those. No problem whatsoever. So it's not the same thing.
If the right FF came along with the right spec and it had a warranty left on it, or if at least the PTU and trans had been done, I would seriously consider that.
It's like a daily driver.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That was.
They're awesome.
They're legit cars.
They just, they have a lot of very expensive issues that aren't, if they're not dealt with and you have to deal with them, you're going to spend 50 grand plus.
I want to. Has there been anyone that's figured out how to do like a PTO delete?
That's a good question.
Because
it'd be a lot involved in doing that because of the electronics, like to get rid of all error messages and everything. You'd have to figure out.
But if you could do a PTO delete on that car, that'd be epic. Because that's really the problem. That's the problem with that car is the PTO.
Yeah.
It's just it's a stupid system. It's not the transmission, it's the PTO. Because the trans is the exact same trans as every other Ferrari now.
Which, that generation, they do have problems.
Yeah, it's still got the speed sensor issue, but that's
it's
like
the all-wheel drive. It's got like a 2-speed differential, or not differential, transfer case that goes bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure exactly what breaks on them. If it's something simple, something difficult, I don't know. But when it breaks, it's not fun to deal with.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to deal with that. Jacko should try a McLaren just because you'd have fun. You need to try a 720, Jacko.
Oh, yeah. I watched Doug DeMuro's video on the 750. I don't know if you've watched that yet or not.
Oh, no.
It's really kind of unimpressive. It's basically a 720. I don't see much of a difference.
It's a 720 with a body kit.
Yeah, I'll take the 720 for half the price all day long.
Yeah, Hoovy. So the interesting thing is the FF that we had was actually his. He sold it to us. We sold it to Hoovy, and then Hoovy sold it to that Chevy dealership. So,
I wish he would have offered it back to us. We would have
bought that back in a heartbeat. It was so clean. It was a really, really nice car.
My only gripe with it is it was low optioned. It didn't have very many options on it. That was my only gripe. But other than that car was great.
Dude, Hoovy got the deal of a century.
Yeah, he did.
We hooked him up. But he's hooked us up, so I felt like, okay.
Yeah.
He scratched our back, we scratched his back. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, spec-wise, the 750 is a baby 675, but the 675 is just... Yeah.
And in the 750, they changed the gauge cluster to a regular one. Remember in the 720, it does that cool thing where it pops up? And you can put it in like fighter jet mode and it goes back down. I really like that. I like that about it. I thought that was cool.
750 has a 765 gear set. That's the big deal.
I mean, that doesn't seem like a big deal. I mean, I feel like you could just tune the 750 and probably get more power than a 765's got. I'm
Yeah,
sure
but
someone will do it.
Oops. You tune the 765 and you kick the
Yeah.
crap out of both of those, though.
True. I mean, they don't need a tune. They're fast enough.
No. That's the problem with all the McLarens is everyone messes with them.
Yeah.
And I feel like the problem is I feel like a lot of times they mess with them and they don't really know what they're doing, and then you end up with a weak engine that blows up. So
It's kind of like the Lamborghini mod guys, too.
yeah.
Same thing.
Oh god, all the twin turbo people. Like, oh, dude, I was so sad. There was someone who's posting a Superleggera manual transmission, but they twin turboed it.
Oh,
It was like one of two. And I was like, why'd you ruin that car? Like, so disappointing. So disappointing.
Greg, if you drive a McLaren, a newer one, you might be sold on it.
They certainly are powerful.
I think they're a ton
Well,
of fun.
or go try a 48 with a tune.
Yeah.
I would take a 48 with a tune over McLaren any day.
Which McLaren, though? Because I would take a 720 over the 488.
No, I'd take the
I would.
48. No, because the 48's not going to have all the same problems. It's not going to be a pile of shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Like
You're
I'm not
right.
going to worry. I'm not going to worry about it straining me on the side of the road.
I don't know. People are having their turbos blow up on the 488s.
Mm,
It seems to be
usually-
happening a lot.
If they're going to blow up, they blow up in like the first 5,000 miles.
Yeah, but if you put a tune on it and drive the crap out of it, I mean,
Yeah, they're fine. Interesting. I've driven the 600 LT Pista and 720. I prefer the experience of the Scud. I take the Pista over the 720 because of ... the front tire width.
Well, I would take the Pista too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given.
Pista is shit. I would love a 430 12C or Gallardo, but they're still too much of an 80K guy.
You need to get a beat up 360 then.
You can't find you could find a 12C for 80K. To be
Maybe a really high mile rough one.
yeah.
I wouldn't want an $80,000 12C.
And here's the other problem. Yeah, the depreciation curves on McLarens are
Well,
bad.
you gotta shop around and find a good deal on one that's already had some stuff done to it that's got some miles on it.
yeah. Go find that 30,000 mile McLaren.
Yep.
Gardos you can find occasionally in the 80K range.
You don't want an E-Gear Gallardo though, they suck.
Yeah. The Super G is legit, but the regular Gallardo, it's kind of disappointing.
It's like the same transmission as a 360 F1. Very delayed, very slow. I don't
Yeah.
know, just
Leaves a lot to be desired. Oh. Yeah, the prices of supercars in Australia is just insane. You can still
I
see
don't understand that.
Wow. 675 with a scoop likely won't lose much value, but they're 400,000.
You know, I disagree with that. I feel like, yes, it's a special car. Yes, it's limited production, but I think it could easily lose $100,000 in value if they become not desirable anymore. If they have some problems or whatever that comes out, you know, people are gonna be like, I'm not interested anymore. They could go to 300.
I think the question or the answer to this question, Jacko, is it depends. There's definitely some stuff that goes wrong in the 12Cs and 650s when they approach like 30,000 miles. But a lot of the fixes are one-time fixes. So if it's already had a lot of the stuff, then you're probably okay. But yeah, it's tough. Sorry.
A Gallardo is basically an R8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff, different skin.
Let's see. Your 12C has 43,000 miles on it.
I mean, I've seen 12Cs with 60, 70,000, 80,000 miles on them.
Yeah.
Still going.
I'd be curious to know how many of those are just driving around with like accepted issues, you know? Like, oh yeah, the main seal's leaking and like it leaks coolant, leaks oil, but it's okay. I don't know.
I just got a text from my lady that runs the auction in Austin, and she said, "Hey, wasn't this your car?"
Oh, it might have been. What happened?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they traded it in. They're selling it at the auction next week.
We didn't sell it local, did we?
San Antonio, I think.
Was it? I thought it was. I can't remember now. The squad car is not. I don't think we even heard. So like,
I talked to him today. Actually, he said basically, sorry, we didn't work on it much because it was so cold and they don't have heat in their shop. So he said they pulled it in and they were working on it. So probably know something in the next day or two.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that car back.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to have a working police car. That's awesome. Makes me very happy to think about. Oh man,
what's wrong with the early 720s? Is there some problem that they had? Because they made those starting in 18, right? I think 18 was the first year. Alex said 2020 or later. What's wrong with the earlier ones?
I know they changed. They had a revision somewhere in there, and that must be 2020. But I don't know what the revision was. The 650 still got some of the issues, like the what's that flywheel thing where the springs break? What is it, like the harmonic dampeners break, and then they can fly around and chew up your flywheel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big problem. The 600 LT is legit. I love the 600 LT. Those are pretty impressive cars.
I like them. I'm just a little bit too tall for them. They're a little cramped. They're a little cramped for me.
You should just like go have surgery to shave your legs down 2 inches.
If it were only that easy.
That's a procedure.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
Hell no. I mean, I'm not doing that. Could you imagine they what do they cut your bones and fuse them back together?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yes, I still have the GT40 right now.
Although the Arturo's a oh, sorry. You were answering that. The Arturo's a hybrid. And I've always said the hybrids, I mean, think about it. A McLaren that already is going to have issues out of the gate. And then you add a complicated hybrid system to it. Good luck. If you buy one of those, you're digging your own grave.
Negative 36. Hell no. Yeah. No. When are we going on VidWiki? I don't know. Whenever
as
we
soon as they invite us.
Yeah. When they say, "Hey, come on, VidWiki."
I'll come up with a really good story if they invite us on there.
Yeah. I've actually talked to him. I suppose I should probably pitch doing like a recap of CNC Motors.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Because that's a hell of a story. Like, I still can't believe that shit happened. Like, it's just like, holy crap.
Actually, 2 people reached out to us this week just
Oh.
this week that are getting in process of being scammed by dealers.
Yep, that's how common this shit is. It's crazy. Yeah, the one guy actually does want to talk. The other guy, he wants to see if he can resolve it first, which good luck.
It doesn't sound promising.
That's the worst part is when these
They're
people...
they're.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say he's at the spot right now where they're leading him on just to buy time.
Yep. That's exactly right. Every time every time someone emails me about this sort of stuff, I hate dealing with it because it's depressing, and it's like I don't want to tell people the reality. Like I become the bearer of bad news. Like every time someone reaches out to us, like, "Hey, this happened with me at a consignment," and blah blah blah, and I'm like, "So, here's the reality: you're going to get screwed, and you're going to lose a bunch of money or your car." No, that's not true. I can fight it, and I'm like, "No, you won't win. It sucks." Looking forward to a video of Dan chasing Josh around a cop car around Austin. Yes. Let's see here. What is... Everyone is trying to do scams right now on the McLaren and Thuzy page. There are a dozen new members trying to pitch parts that are obviously stolen. Oh.
I think it's supposed to say McLaren enthusiast.
Oh, enthusiast. Okay. I'm like, enthusiast? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the McLaren people, you got to send them to specialists. They always have like crazy maintenance and whatever.
We got offered a car the other day, and I did some research. It was a McLaren, and this dude was wanting retail for it. And I was like, Dan, do we want this piece of crap? And he's like, for dirt cheap, we do. And so I do some research on it, and this dude bought it at an IRS auction. It had been seized by the IRS, and he bought it at an auction and was trying to sell it to us and make money.
Yeah, he was trying to sell it to us at full retail. It's like, no.
But only a McLaren would be at an IRS auction.
I have to say that, I don't understand. Like, one of the craziest things about doing the dealership is how badly people realize, or like people don't realize, that their cars aren't going to be traded in at full retail. It's absurd. Like, everyone wants full retail on their trade-in, and they get all butthurt when you offer them a trade-in value. It's like, so what I started doing is I started saying, hey, like someone's like, oh, I want to trade in this car. And the first thing I say is, well, I need to be able to make money on it because I'm a dealership and that's how I make a living. And, because that's the reality.
Well, we had one guy say, he said, I have this car I want to sell. And we're like, gave him an offer. And he's like, oh, I can't do that, man. I always try to make money on my cars.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, good for you.
Yeah. So that's not what the market says. Like, that's the thing. We got to go based on what the market currently wants for that car. And
I mean, yeah, Hugh, we'll take trade-ins as long as people are reasonable and realize, we can't pay retail for a car.
The problem is if we didn't take trade-ins, we would lose a ton of deals.
Yeah.
And honestly,
and
there's
the
a lot
best.
of... Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say the best thing to do that I like to tell people. I love telling people this is when they want to trade it in, and they're like, "Well, why can't you give me X dollars for it?" I see them listed for sale, and here's one on Bring a Trailer, and I'm like, okay, why don't you go sell it on your own, and then bring me the cash, and we'll do a deal on this car that you want. Oh, well, I don't want to go. I don't want to do that. Okay, so you want us to do it for free?
Right. Exactly.
Are you going to go to work for free tomorrow just because your boss says, I need you to work for free today? You going to go work for free?
This
Hell no,
right
you're not
here
gonna work for
is
free.
the most accurate sentence
Yeah.
the entire night. Everyone wants full retail for the trade-in and wants wholesale for the car that they're buying.
And I'm
It's like,
totally fine with people wanting full retail for their car or however much they can get. But don't expect us to pay that because we're doing all the work. If you want to put in the work, maybe you can get full retail and you should do that.
I will gladly sell. I will gladly buy your trade-in for full retail if you want to pay a 20% markup on my car.
Sure.
Because, yeah, it's anyway. How do we compare to CarMax? I mean, we don't because we don't buy piles of shit.
Well, CarMax doesn't sell Ferraris either.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite the same business.
We both sell cars. That's about the end of the similarities.
Yeah, they sell a lot of garbage. Any company
mean,
that like
when I was in the thick of it with the cheaper cars, CarMax would literally go to one auction and buy cars at an auction and then take them and put them on their retail lot. And they would paint bumpers and hoods and doors in the back of the parking lot under a tent and have 3 dudes doing window tint on cars outside, dirt in the windows. I mean, just the fixes they would do on broken stuff were janky. I would never buy a car from CarMax.
3% over cost for a new car is reasonable. In the used car market, it's not. Because the thing is, on the new car market, they're going to get you with financing and warranties and add-ons and bullshit and this and that.
Even 3%, dealers aren't okay with 3%. Even on a new car, 3%. I mean, what? You sell a car for 40 grand, they're going to make $1,300, $1,400.
Yeah.
They're not okay with that. They make more than that.
It depends, though. If you're going to finance it through a bank that they do or whatever and blah, 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 blah.
Well, then they make money on the financing, too.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. And yeah, you can get a trade-in tax credit generally, not always. It's not always that simple.
And
Yes.
a lot of states don't do trade credit either.
Mhm.
Like if you've got a car, you're in Georgia, and you want to trade your car in Texas and get the tax credit, it depends on your laws in Georgia or wherever you're at. Here in Texas, if you have a car from another state and you want to trade it in, you're not going to get tax credit. It has to be titled in Texas in your name
So what
in
are
order
the...
to get the tax credit.
I like this question. To avoid dealer scams, what are the key things to look out for that should cause buyers to walk away?
I mean, there's so many things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's one... I don't know if there's
A better way to put it is go into the dealership with your research done on the dealership itself and on the car. Know exactly what you want to pay and how you're going to pay for it. If you're financing, have your financing pre-approved or a letter or whatever, or have your money ready to go. And know what you want to pay and just walk in there and say, here's what I'm willing to pay. If you can't do the deal, no problem, I'm out of here. End of story. That's the way every deal should be done.
Yeah.
And you know they're gonna hit you with the, oh well, you know, we'll give you this or we'll give you that extra, or the salespeople are trained to tell you whatever they think you want to hear to get that deal done.
I feel like you can usually tell by the vibe of the people, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you just feel like they're scummy people, you're probably getting scammed. And like you can have a really relaxed buying experience with a dealership, and you know it's just very honest. It's like every time you've dealt with someone who's like really honest, it's like, oh, you know, like right up front they're like, oh, you know, we've got this fee or that fee, and okay, and you know, here's what's wrong with the car. Okay, like if they don't tell you what's wrong with the car, like here's the thing. If they say, oh, this car's perfect, it's not perfect.
There's no car that's perfect.
Yeah. If you get a good deal on a car, do you pass the deal along or you still try to rip it? I mean, I guess you're saying if like we buy a car cheap, do we try and sell it cheap. I mean, generally we try and price
If we-
cars aggressively.
If we can sell it quick and just make a little bit and move on, then we'll absolutely do that.
Like we kind of have our minimum amounts of money we want to make on a car, and as long as we're above that, we're pretty happy. So we have definitely sold cars below market value just because we got it for a good price, and so we felt comfortable selling it at a good price.
Paul, the title scams is touchy because you can get screwed in so many different ways. Really do your research on the car and everything before you just send somebody a wire for a car. I mean, because once that money's gone, it's gone.
Best comment of the night. You should pay Normal Guy to do your research and find out your dream car for you and buy it from them. That's how you avoid scams. Thank you. We try. We try our best.
Well, we can't do every deal, though.
True. Add-on fees are annoying. They're stupid. Like we said, it's one thing if they have a reasonable dock fee or something, like, you know, a couple $100, but when it's $1,000, I mean, it's just.
And then they try to add in a paint protection and window tint and floor mats and all that. The salespeople get bonuses if they sell that stuff and the deal goes through.
Yeah.
So you don't need that crap.
Are we planning any cool meetups or cruises? I mean, we haven't started planning them, but yes, we want to, yes. So the answer is yes, but we haven't planned any yet.
Tanner, yes, we do have a floor plan. We use that sometimes, and we also have our own money that we use just depending on what the car is and what the deal is and whatever. We move stuff around. But yes, if it's on the floor plan, we're very motivated to get rid of it as quickly as possible because we don't want to pay interest.
What's the process if you buy a car with a lien on it? Depends on the lien.
It's actually, in some ways, it's safer to do that because you have to work with their bank to get the car paid off. So the bank has the title, not the seller.
That's true.
So at least you can get verification of the title and everything. But, I mean, it just depends. There's a lot of variables there.
There's a lot of grumblings about a tour of Colorado.
We were talking about it the other day. We were like, should we go to Monterey or should we do the tour?
Yeah, I got my email for passes to the Quail. And so I was like, okay, in fact, we got to make a decision pretty quick here. Do we want to go to the Quail or do we want to do a tour of Colorado?
Well, what I said to Dan is that Monterey costs us a lot of money. It's super expensive.
Extremely expensive.
If we do the tour, at least maybe we could make a little bit or at least break even. But Monterey is definitely going to put us in the red 100%. There's no way to make money from that.
That's true.
And the tour is a lot of fun.
The tour, I would say,
is a blast.
The tour is more fun, but it's not as, yeah. I don't know. There's pluses
but
and
think
minuses.
about it, dude. We've been to Monterey for 2 years in a row. We've seen every car there is to see. We've done every event. If we go again, I mean, it'll still be awesome. It'll still be cool to go watch cars on Ocean Avenue and everything. But
Jocko's like, I'm in. I don't care. I'm in.
Monterey was fun, Jocko.
Monterey was fun. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I think I want to do another tour. The problem is we need to make sure that we get people booked up and paid before I start booking shit. Because I don't want to front the money. It's pretty hard to front like $40,000 or more.
It's more than that.
Yeah, I think it was closer to like, actually last time I think it was closer to like $70,000. So it's a ton of money. It's a ton of money. It's hard. It's hard for us to manage. I mean, the problem we talked about doing other drives. The problem is we don't know routes and hotels and whatever. The nice thing about the tour is I already have all the hotels, the routes, and everything. So all I have to do is kind of mishmash it together. So it's a lot less work on our side, and it's still a ton of work. Where do I sign? I will pay today.
Should we already have like 4 confirmed reservations?
Man. I mean, to make it cost effective, I think we need closer to 10 people minimum.
Yeah.
Because it's really the condos in Telluride that are crushing because they're just
And-
so expensive.
Aspen was not cheap either.
Well, we wouldn't do Aspen again.
Oh, okay.
Like if we do the tour again, I think we'd do the two location plan, where you start off in one place, you drive to the next place, and you stay there, and you do out and backs. So,
Yeah, we'd have to talk about that. I kind of like the idea of pit stops, like checkpoint hotels.
doing different hotels.
Yeah,
I mean, the problem is
pretty fun.
Once we lost the castle, it's kind of like, oh man.
Yeah.
Because Aspen, as much as Aspen is cool, it wasn't as cool as the castle.
But there's so many other cool places we could stay along that route.
It's really hard to find a place
Yeah.
that has like luxury accommodations, can handle supercars, good parking. All those things are just like, there's so many little details you don't think about that once you start planning a route and a drive.
Yeah.
It's actually quite difficult. I'll pay for everyone if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Yeah. See, the other thing about doing multiple locations is transporting the luggage.
I mean, if we could stay at that condo and Telluride the whole time, that would
Well,
be...
that would kind of be the plan, right? You go to Colorado Springs, you meet up there, you kind of get oriented, and then you drive to Telluride and you stay in Telluride.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Telluride is like, you can't fly into Telluride unless you want to pay a fortune.
What about like the canyon and all that? I mean, that's pretty. If you can't really do that in a day.
Yeah,
Can
you
you?
could. Oh yeah.
Okay.
The downside is if you did the canyon loop, you would have a big stretch of it that's just on boring highway.
I really liked that place we stayed. I can't.
With the hot tubs?
Yeah, with the hot tubs.
That's
Was
in,
that Ridgeway?
Ridgeway.
That place was really cool.
It's kind of hippie,
Yeah.
the hippie place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that place. I mean, I like all the places. I mean, probably won't be doing that.
Oh, people are talking about the Cowboys. Yeah, that's too bad. I don't really care.
The castle is no longer an option because they changed their pricing, and it's like unbelievably expensive now. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Curious if they let's see if they still have where you can actually book it. Even I don't know. Like they changed. So what
They
happened?
changed ownership, didn't they?
They changed owners, and it's no longer the same thing. What the hell? So I go to the Redstone Castle. I click on book a tour. And it says summer tours are over. See you next year. Like they're just doing like tours now. This is, I don't know what the hell. What? Yeah, I don't think you can even. I don't even see where you can book it anymore. That's too bad. Oh well. Oh my itches.
Who owns a horse?
I thought my car was damn near perfect, but you guys showed me that even a car guy doesn't see everything. I'm going to have you guys inspect my cars from now on.
Sorry, we beat it up.
Sorry. The problem is, like, most of the car guys don't see all this stuff, but we have to because otherwise someone could give us crap for it, right? So, Hearst Castle trip. Oops, dropping shit. I still have both kidneys. I'm in. We've had an AMG. Oh, a V12 though. No.
So I did watch Hoovie's video on that CL65. I know Dan probably didn't watch that, but
I
he
know.
bought a Mercedes CL65, which is the V12 twin turbo 2-door S class basically. And he mentioned in the video, I'm gonna sell this or the Bentley. I might text him and say, hey, if you decide to sell that Mercedes, give us a call. It's pretty. They're
I
pretty.
could text him.
Yeah.
Is that a cool car?
I mean, if you like old Mercedes, and it's pretty cool. I think it's like 700 something foot-pounds of torque
Holy
in that
crap.
thing. They're pretty quick.
Jeez.
But yeah, I had a couple of S600 V12 Mercedes, and those were badass.
Man. Yeah, there's some routes over in the like Blue Ridge Parkway and the Tail of the Dragon and all that stuff that would be pretty cool. But again, I just don't know the routes and the roads and the hotels and whatever. And I don't really feel like trying to figure all that out. So, and also I feel like the roads in Colorado are just so epic, you know, especially that time of year with the aspens changing color and everything.
Yeah.
It's
$1 million highway was
yeah.
a $1 million view. It was awesome.
Yeah. It is amazing. The only shitty part is there's a lot of traffic, so you're not always just hauling ass. Sometimes you're just stuck in traffic. But it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing will beat that first year, man. During COVID, God, when no one was on the road, it was just like, holy crap. Yeah. CL65 is a sleeper. Let's do a Canadian tour around Banff.
Banff is really cool, but I don't think there's that's just not going to happen.
I think getting people up to Canada is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like, organizing this sort of stuff is so complicated. And you have to I mean, think about it. You're convincing people to part ways with a substantial amount of money for something that you haven't fully figured out until the last minute.
Yeah.
And then during the event itself, the inevitable happens where a road's closed or a restaurant was closed or, you know, whatever. And geez, man, it really screws shit up. You drove from Dallas to Banff.
That's a long drive.
Jeez, what was that, like 6,000 miles total?
I actually did that drive a couple of years ago with the camper van.
Whew.
We went all the way up there, and then all the way to the Pacific Coast Highway and took that all the way down.
Is there a good solution to ship a bunch of cars to Colorado to start the tour? I mean, if we had a bunch of cars that wanted to go to Colorado for the tour and they are all coming from the same location, we could certainly reach out to our transportation companies that we work with and probably get a deal.
We could probably get a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, we generally found good food.
No, the food was fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if any of the restaurants were closed that we were trying to do.
What was the one in Telluride? Red something? That was my favorite one.
Yeah, the one up on the mountain.
Yeah, that I'll never forget that.
Dude, that was a hell of a meal. And then Everyone's like, let's buy a Tignanello. Let's buy another one. Let's buy another one. And like our bill was like $7,000 or something crazy. And then it was funny because everyone was like, what was the steak that we were getting? And then everyone kept getting it. And it was like
$250 steak.
it was $150 steak. And it was like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Like the whole time I'm like, oh man, this is way more money than I budgeted.
Yeah.
But it was cool because a bunch of people chipped in and were like, hey, I know we went over budget, so here's some extra money. But that was a hell of a meal. That was a hell of a night. I mean, see, anyone who doesn't understand like eating out at a good restaurant with a bunch of friends, that is exactly why. Because I guarantee you, every single person who was there remembers that night vividly because it was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the steak was $150 that night. It was just for the steak, not including stuff that came with it. And I think like 7 or 8 people got it. Oh yeah, it was the Wagyu. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
I got it. It was delicious.
Oh, it was so good. It was good. Yeah. That was awesome. That was so much fun.
Brent, I think if you do it that way, it's just everybody wants to do different things, and trying to stay together as a group is
Oh,
impossible.
it's impossible. It's impossible. So the first tour of Colorado, the way I did it was I said, "Hey, here's the hotels," and like everyone tried to book their own hotels, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work because you're trying to get like all these people booking all these different hotel reservations, and then immediately what we found out was like you go to all these restaurants and you've got 20 people going to a restaurant, and the restaurant's like, well, we only want one check. We're not going to break up the check. So then who's paying for it, right? And so then like inevitably what happened was the first year I started paying for all the meals, and I said, okay, I'm just going to tally it all up, and at the end I'm just going to divide by the number of participants, and each person kicks in, and so it's much easier if one person is just in charge of all the bills.
Yeah.
And you just factor that in.
And then if you do the tour, you don't have to worry about paying for anything. It's everything's
Right.
covered. You just do your thing, and yeah, it's
The
more
only thing you gotta
relaxing
pay for is
sure.
like you gotta pay for gas. That's it.
Yeah.
So every time you're at a gas stop, you swipe your credit card and that's it. But everything else is, yeah. What's the closest hotel town to Twisted Sisters? I mean, Fredericksburg's a usual, like a pretty good thing. I mean, or Kerrville, Fredericksburg or Kerrville.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hearing we're in again. Let's go. I mean, we're very seriously contemplating doing a tour of Colorado this year.
Well, we've got 10 months to plan it. Or no, 9 months.
I guess what I should do is like get commitments from people first.
What we should do is take a half deposit or something like that. That way it's like, you're in or you're not in. Let's figure out what it'll cost us, and then figure out what we're going to charge, and then we'll take half a deposit and then half like a month before or something.
I mean, I think you got to do the full amount, because the problem is the restaurants are a big unknown, but a lot of the hotels and stuff want you to pay up front.
Yeah.
Because like as soon as you say, hey, I'm booking 10 rooms, they're like, okay, yeah, non-refundable.
Yeah.
Can I come down south and ride shotgun with someone? I'm sure you could convince someone, especially if you like chipped in something, they would probably.
Well, you still got to pay.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a hotel room and food and everything, so it's still going to cost you. But yeah, I mean, as long as you could find somebody, because the way we did it before is you pay X dollars, and then if you have a passenger, it's X dollars more.
But it was like not double. It was
No, it's not double, but that's assuming you share the same hotel room.
right,
too.
and that's the catch, right? You're sharing a room
If you need your own room, it's probably going to be.
way more.
It's the same as anyone else pays.
Yeah, basically it's per room is really the big charge. It's per room and then per plus food. So what would be the limit of cars? I mean, it's kind of so like I think we'd have to have probably 10 commitments minimum and a maximum of 15.
Yeah, any more than 15 is too much.
Because the problem is once you start getting over 15, you can't get into restaurants. It's hard to get through stoplights. It's hard to get that many cars in a gas station because some of these gas
And
stations
these
have like 4 pumps.
Yeah, and these hotels too, they block off entire parking lot for us.
Yep.
So we have to find, a place that can do that with however many cars we have. And if you go much over that, it's difficult.
Yeah. Shit. I have a feeling we're going to have to start planning this.
Well, shoot, I guess you have to bring the GT40.
I don't think it's possible. I actually thought about it. I don't think it's possible to get the GT40 into the garage at the Telluride place.
Why is that?
Remember, the ramp is super steep.
You've got the lifter on there.
Yeah. I would have to get out wood boards. Maybe if they could bring out some wood boards, I could do it.
Yeah. No, the Nissan Versa can't come because it won't be able to keep up.
It would not be able to keep up.
You got to have a fast car because there are times like the canyon runs and stuff where there's literally nobody out there. We're going pretty fast.
The canyon run, you're probably averaging 90 miles an hour, if not higher. Traded in a 48, I would consider that.
I think he needs a salvage title Pista.
Oh yeah. God, I would do that. Yeah, the garage in the Telluride place is it's tight. I mean, you can get it in. I mean, most of the Ferraris don't scrape, but that GT40 is stupid low. Stupid low.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Black Canyon. No, the Canyon Run is not Black Canyon. It's but yeah, Black Canyon. We went through just on the way. Yeah. Oh, the Italian Motor Gathering. I don't know what I'm gonna take there. I like the autocorrect to pastas.
Yeah. But it's funny that we know what he was talking about.
Yeah. So if we're gonna do the tour, it would be end of September, I believe, is our traditional month to do it, and that's because you want it when the aspens are changing. And the other thing is some of the roads in Colorado close in October. So there is like last time we did the tour, we actually got snowed on while doing Independence Pass. So it wasn't like accumulation of snow, but it was snowing. So it did make my butt pucker, let me tell you. Like having a bunch of Ferraris and snow on the road, you're like, this might not be good. So anyway, 9:30. Thank you all for joining us. Looks like we have probably some planning to do, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, we got lots of time.
We have time. That's good news.
Yeah.
So I would say those of you that are dead serious, send us an email. It will be more expensive than last time just because the costs have gone up.
Inflation.
Yeah. So like the last time we did it, we didn't really make any money, and so we need to compute it such that we can actually guarantee that we're going to make a little bit of money. I'm not talking about a bunch of money. I'm talking like a couple $100. So a couple $100 times 10 people, right? It's not a lot of money. So anyway, appreciate it, guys, and yeah, we'll see you next Thursday.
Later.
Bye.